Okay, 29 days out. I hate to say it, but things are getting worse in this country as a whole. I kind of didn't want it to go that way, but it is. All right. As you know, North Carolina is in the middle of a crisis. All right, there are thousands of people missing still, and there are thousands of people without basic necessities. They're homeless, and the government has not responded adequately whatsoever. Waiting a week and then finally doing things, and now they have FEMA saying, well, with all these accusations and everything else, our employees are afraid to go there and they don't feel comfortable. I mean, the audacity of these assholes to say this, and plus the fact they admitted that all the money they had in FEMA, they've been relocating. Now, they call them illegal immigrants. They're not. Okay, the reality of it is FEMA has been processing these foreigners and giving them refugee status. That's what the Haitians are up in Ohio, and that's what these people in Louisiana, all over the place, and they come through here in Greensboro. That's FEMA. They don't wear it on their jacket, but if you stand around this parking lot and ask them what's going on, you're told to get out or get arrested. Okay? This administration is doing things to protect themselves. Now, a lot of accusations flying and that, the bottom line is the only people really helping anyone in Western North Carolina are private citizens. The people who live there, volunteers that came there, there's veterans much younger than me that are going out there and actually making a difference. Just people on their own. Okay? Our guys shipped out a bunch of stuff. We collected food, water, necessities and stuff. And they told me stories of people trying to commandeer our things and everything else. So once again, if you wish to help, donate money to a church. Go around on YouTube. There's several different Christian organizations that are actually leading people and doing something there on the ground. They even accept volunteers to come and help. Either help clear the roads, cut trees, get brush out of the way. And these are all private organizations. None of this is funded by the government. Okay? So a lot of accusations there, but enough about North Carolina because I spent all morning contacting my friends in different states. We don't talk about Georgia. I got a hold of my friend down in Georgia. I'm not quite sure exactly where he lives, but I got a hold of him today, and he said I was without power and that for 5 days. He goes after the storm. So it wasn't until a few days ago that he actually got power back on and was able to get online and post a few things. So I sent him a text message, got a hold of him, and he said, fortunately, it's just a lot of wind, damage, trees down. So he has to go and clear branches and get his property in order, but now the power's back on. More or less everything is pretty safe, but he did mention, and lest we not forget, there's another hurricane that's going to come right across Florida, right out of the Gulf and swipe right across it. He said, what about our other friend? That hurricane's headed right for him. And Alan said, I got to work on, getting my property. I said, well, let me try to contact him. And I sent a text message to him. And there's another friend I have in Florida. He sent a message before the storm hit that everything was all right. And he said something during the storm. It's kind of getting shaky here. And I haven't heard anything. I tried to contact him. with no luck. But the other guy in Florida said he's getting ready to evacuate. But he said, thanks for sending a message, and we're getting ready to evacuate. So what about, I know I've been saying a lot about North Carolina because, the situation is horrible and there's a lot of information out there. But there's still people in Georgia. There's still people in Florida, and there's going to be more damage in Florida within 24 hours. Where's the government? Where's FEMA? Where are we protecting our citizens? Okay, this is criminal. And the only thing the politicians say is that all these false accusations and all this disinformation, okay, is wrong, and it must stop, because this is not how a democracy is run. Well, it's like one guy said, this he said, she said stuff. He goes, you got your phone. If you see something going on during these crises, he goes, get video of it. He goes, and that way they can't stop, they can't say that it's disinformation. Like they said, they were commandeering and taking supplies. He goes, get video of it. They have gotten some more people, again from North Carolina, that they said that we got the vehicle and that's it. The house is washed away. We have nothing. The clothes we were wearing when we jumped in the car and drove off. And they asked for a cell phone from FEMA, and FEMA says, we're not going to give you one. And then this $750, how are you going to give it to people standing in the parking lot? They're in a car, they have no ID or nothing, they have nothing. And even if you could give it to them, what are they going to do with it? There's no power, there's no, this is crazy. I don't even want to get, it's overwhelming. What I've been watching is overwhelming, and there's more storms coming. Florida's going to get hit again. It got hit the first time. And I haven't even heard anything about what happened to Florida the first time around. I did hear about Georgia and the issues there, okay. They seem, or from what, at least the one person I know was not like me, was in an area where nothing happened. He said most of that was in the Atlanta area. So again, it depends on where you live. Like me, we had some weather, but nothing terrible happened to us. Maybe lost the power for a day. Some people, it's much more severe. So nobody's talking about Georgia. And I believe there were several other states when they show that path. And then up into Virginia and Tennessee, on that edge of Tennessee there. But now, I was wondering, because they didn't know which way that tropical storm was going to go out of the Gulf, it may have went right back up the same path. Which if it did that, God forbid. But now it appears it's just going to shoot out across Florida and go out into the Atlantic. But still, it's going to be, I don't know what category it is. It's picking up strength as it's going. But then again, more disaster. My message is I believe the government ain't doing nothing. I'll get into it because it's such a tangled mess. Everyone's accusing everybody of everything. But the one thing I don't like is the politicians say that this is unjust, it's unfair, and that freedom of speech and social networking are a problem. Okay, they more or less almost directly say that, this constitutional thing, the First Amendment about, being free to say what you want, he goes, this has got to stop. He goes, It's not helping us run a democracy efficiently and letting us go forward, okay, with people speaking their mind and saying, hey, I don't think this is right. So instead of them trying to explain and justify the situation is what you should do as a civil servant, they just say that people speaking their mind and complaining and having accusations, which kind of, you can believe them. If you look at it and you got common sense, some of these accusations, it ain't that hard, it ain't that easy to just brush them aside. But instead of explaining the situation in that, they blame the people and basically wish to silence them. Because the biggest argument in this whole thing, putting politics aside and everything, they just sent billions of dollars to the Middle East. Okay, and then they're telling these people, we ain't got no money to give you nothing here. American citizens. They sent our tax money to a foreign country. Okay? And then they tell these people just standing in the parking lot with the clothes on their back, sleeping in their car, that, well, we can't do nothing for you. Okay, this is an injustice. And I don't care. I'll see what happens. Eventually, they'll probably shut my channel down, but I don't care. I've had enough. This isn't good. So, again, I'm going to ask you, keep all these people in your prayers, even the people in Florida. Okay, I mean, they're gonna get hit again, second time around. Okay, and you don't even really hear much about Florida. That's another thing. I don't know how bad the damage was down there the first time around, but what's happening now, they're evacuating. It's not good. Okay, on top of everything. I don't believe the other two hurricanes are even coming towards landfall yet or that, so that's something not to worry about. But I'll get into the political end of it in tomorrow's video. But I just wanted to get that out. If you can help, send it to a church or some sort of organization. Do not send the money to FEMA. Do not send the money to the American Red Cross. Okay? Send that money to some sort of church organization and that, because at least you will know that these people will get it. Okay? It won't be diverted somewhere else. Alright guys, and another thing, please vote. Okay? Just vote, You should be, I mean, they automatically register you to vote when you get a driver's license. But just make sure you make a point to get out and vote this next upcoming election. Alright, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.